Hello everyone. Once again, the dawn is on. And tonight, for your viewing pleasure, there is no cameraman. I have the phone propped up against an ashtray on one of the granite tabletops here at the Cigar Castle. And I will film this video for as long as time allows. That would be until the next customer walks in. So tonight I'm going to smoke from 2015, very rare cigar. There was less than 20,000 of these cigars made in the Toro format, and it's the Futuro. It's a Casa Fernandez warped collaboration cigar, 100% Nicaraguan Corojo. So for Don Antonio, it doesn't get any better. 100% Nicaraguan Corojo. Casa Fernandez warped. Yeah, could be my favorite cigar of all time. And if it isn't, it's definitely one of them. So I thought I would include the cutting and lighting experience tonight. I'm choosing the 7mm punch. This one happens to be made by Cigar. I guess the one problem I have in filming this video is I am looking at the lens part of the camera. I cannot see what I'm filming. I basically am operating blind as the cameraman. I know the camera is pointing in my direction. I tried to set it up best as I could beforehand, and hopefully it turns out well. A little bit of a compromise in the shoulder right now after punching. Could have been a little bit more gentle about it, so let that be a lesson to everybody else at home. You don't need to crack your cigar like this unless you rush it or you're distracted. I'm going to throw that away. And I'm going to light the cigar. That's always the same. Lowest temperature possible. Don't scorch the sugars in your tobacco. They won't taste very good. Take Don Antonio's word for it. Okay. Let's give it a first pass. And that flame was a little high out of the gate there. I had just filled up the lighter, so that makes sense. Just warming up the cigar. Get it used to the new temperature. Don't rush this process. It's not lit at all. Just blackened the foot. We toasted this cigar. Go back for a second pass. Just going to try to light it a little on this go around. Don't try to do too much at once. That's the mistake everybody makes. But Don Antonio doesn't make that mistake. Why? Experience. Paying attention. Doing the experiment. Learning. A lot of guys out there think they know everything there is to know about cigars. I guess that makes them feel good. Doesn't make them right. Now I'm showing you how to light this cigar. I know it's right, but it ain't the only right way. This is a technique I use most often at the counter when cutting and lighting cigars on the behalf of thousands of customers here at the Cigar Castle. Now this cigar is ready to go. What do I like to do before I take a first draw on a cigar? Most of you already know Don Antonio's preferred method: purge the cigar. Some of you may be asking right now, what is it to purge a cigar? What does that mean? Just blowing out through the cigar in this direction, not taking it in. Slow and steady, but for a few seconds, to get any of the impurities from the lighting experience out and away from the cigar, instead of inhaling them in through the cigar where they could attach themselves to the filler tobacco on the way in, changing the flavor profile for the life of the smoke. I don't know. I preach it all the time, but people tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know what experiments they've done, how they've tried to learn. You know, they probably read a magazine or something, consider themselves an aficionado, like the magazine they read, an aficionado. I consider myself a cigar snob anyway. Alright, that being said, let's purge the thing. See the smoke flowing out of the cigar. Away. And look what else happened. It helped further reignite the cigar, or ignite the cigar. So if your cigar is going out, if you can get away with relighting it with a purge instead of using a lighter, that's all the better. It's so much more delicate on the cigar. The lighter gets so hot, so intense. You could really toggle just how hard you blow through the cigar, right? You don't have to get it that hot. Slow and steady won the race. Not just for the tortoise, but for the cigar. Alright, that being said, Futuro, one of my favorite cigars. Have I mentioned that already? Yeah, you're not going to probably be able to buy this, but if you can, you better buy every last one on the shelf. There wasn't that many made, and it was 3 years ago. I really don't think you can get any more. I was lucky enough to purchase a box and a half of them, so I got 30. I don't have 30 left, but I got 30 of the 18,000. All right, first draw. Yeah. Uh-huh. Man, is that ever what I remember it to be. I've smoked this cigar so many times. Because we did have them at the Cigar Castle at one time, and I must have smoked at least a dozen of them before I even got my hands on the dirty. So what was that experience like on the first draw? Creamy. For certain. Creamy. Not that much spice, but I know that the spice is going to come. This cigar is a creamy, spicy cigar. The more you heat it up, the spicier it gets. The more you cool it down, the creamier it gets. And I have not smoked another cigar that has been able to do what this cigar has done for me in those terms. Do I love an Opus X Angel share? Yeah, definitely. A different cigar though. Not a Nicaraguan Corojo. Now we're talking about a Dominican Sun-Grown when it comes to the Opus X Angel share. Right, then there's the Lagaha by M. Bombay. Connecticut Non-Maduro, a natural. Absolutely phenomenal. Definitely up there. Can be mentioned in the same breath as the two previous cigars that I mentioned. Watch me take this next draw. Just please notice the slow and steady intake of smoke, keeping the temperature down in the foot of the cigar. Really, I mean, if you can't do this at any point while you're smoking a cigar, if you can't hold it 1/8 of an inch below the burn line comfortably, stop smoking. Just stop smoking this cigar. Put it down for 30 seconds and test it again. When you pick it up finally, give it a little purge to help reignite it somewhat, and then take a draw in without the cigar even leaving your mouth between purge and draw. I'll do it now to demonstrate. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at the smoke billowing out of the head at the cigar. When the smoke billows out of the head of your cigar, what does that indicate? Intuitively, you should be able to answer. You got a nice, easy breathing, good flow to your cigar. Now, I noticed that the cigar is burning a little bit quicker on this side than that. Why? Could be the way that I lit it. Maybe not so evenly lit. So what do I do to find out if this part of the cigar is out? Well, I examine to see if it's lit, and I can see a little bit of an orange there when I blow on it. So I know the cigar is lit. That being said, hello, Pat. Hi, Christine. Just saying hello to some customers. They watch the Don Antonio show regularly, so I don't need to hold the presses. When they walk in, they know that I'll be there to service them. But if it was somebody that was newer to the castle or an unfamiliar face or unfamiliar with the show, I would halt recording. Okay, and I know Pat likes to get himself a drink set up first before he goes and grabs some cigars. All right, so where I picked off, I knew that pick up where I left off. I test to see if it was lit, and I seen the orange there, so I know that it's lit. But why is that important? Why should Don Antonio be concerned if part of his cigar has gone out? Well, if you like your cigar to taste good, you should be concerned if part of your cigar went out too. Because when part of the cigar is out and not burning, you're sucking in that ash-like ashtray flavor with the taste of the regular taste of the tobacco in your cigar. So, hello, ma'am. You can see Kara at the bar, okay? She'll have it. And that's unpleasant. It's acrid. It's bitter. I had things up in my head pretty good. All right. So that being said, let's go back to enjoying the cigar. I wish everybody in the world that enjoys cigars could smoke a Futuro at least once. At least once. I mean, out of my 30, I probably gave 5 of them away. Why would I give away a cigar so rare? Well, anybody that smokes cigars regularly, even for any period of time, knows of a term called Brothers of the Leaf, BOTL, or SOTL, Sisters of the Leaf. And when we smoke cigars and we enjoy them, we want to share that enjoyment with others. Good night, ma'am. We want to share that enjoyment with others. We want them to experience and love cigars as much as we do. And that's why I work at the Cigar Castle. So many of you may or may not know that I worked on Wall Street for 20 years. I'm still in the banking industry today, and that is how I make my living. And I work at the Cigar Castle Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. I used to work here more often when it was required of me. And the reason why I do is because I love cigars, and I want to share that love of cigars with others. But we are located closer to the university, which I won't mention the name of. And a lot of young guys will come in here for their first cigar, or they're just new to smoking. And Don Antonio gets to help them pick out cigars, suggest their first cigar, and just guide them through the process of learning about cigars, which is really why I do this. I find enjoyment in that. Plus, I've learned a lot about cigars on the job, experimentation, training, practice, whatever you want to call it, standing at that counter and dealing with cigar after cigar, not just the only my cigars that I smoke, but with everybody else's as well, really created an environment where my learning about cigars could happen exponentially, at an exponential rate. It would take me a lifetime to smoke and handle the amount of cigars that I have here in a 2.5-year period. Like I said, I experimented, I paid attention, I kept refining my process, and taking suggestion, not being pig-headed, not getting too cocky, not considering myself an aficionado or a know-it-all. I'll never know everything there is to know about cigars. I don't know who would know everything there is to know about cigars, except maybe your upper echelon makers like Ernesto Perez Carrillo, or Don Pepin Garcia, or maybe an Eric Espinoza. These type of people. But the Futuro is a phenomenal smoke, and I'm gonna now end this video because Pat is heading to the counter, and I don't want to neglect him by not cutting and lighting his cigar, which I hope everybody at home can understand and appreciate that attitude. Love you all. It's been great to do another video with you. It's been many weeks, and I plan to do many more coming up. I need the Mad Dog back, the creative genius and cameraman for the show. Stay well, everybody. Again, Futuro, 100% Nicaraguan Corojo. Phenomenal cigar. You find them, buy them all. You don't like them? I'll buy them off you. Stay well.